shall I present or what is it?
No, I'll introduce you.
Let's test it. How does it look like?
I'll introduce. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to our session, scientific session today. And as you have seen the poster, today we are joined by Jaynarayan T Tudu. He's a professor in IIT Tirupati, yes, Tirupati IIT. And Jaynarayan has completed his MS and PhD from IISc Bangalore and his BTech from the IIT Bhubaneswar. So we have a very qualified and intelligent personality with us today. We want to learn from him. And he is a specialist in computer science and engineering. He teaches computer science and engineering. He's an assistant professor in IIT Tirupati. So Jaynarayan works in the area of reliable and intelligent computing, where he supervises PhD students, and also he publishes his thesis, or he publishes various articles in reputed forums. And also recently he has been awarded a Young Faculty Research Grant by the Department of Science and Technology, that is the Government of India. So we have a very qualified professor with us today. We welcome him. Thank you for joining us, Jaynarayan ji. So today is a very interesting topic, which is artificial intelligence versus real intelligence. So yes, I hand over the floor to you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully I am clearly audible to you
Yes.
as well as to your audience.
Yeah, it's clear.
And I am really thankful to the brave, the Bhaktivedanta Ramani Academy of Value Education, which is being mentored or hosted by yourself, Sudama Das. So therefore, I am really thankful to you giving me this opportunity to interact as well as to introduce some of the interesting topics in the area of AI and real intelligence. So, shall we start?
Yes, we are all ready.
Yes. So, as the topic suggests, I think there are two audience and yet to enter into the meeting room. Probably you can enter them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So to begin with, I think this topic, today's presentation, we will do it for around 40-45 minutes, and probably if the host allows us, so probably we can have interaction session as well. So the mode of speaking will be English. If some of you feel like difficulty in understanding in the English, so probably you can also ask questions in Hindi. So we can probably in between talk in Hindi language as well. All right. So definitely it's a buzzword. Now it has become a buzzword, the artificial intelligence. People have not heard such kind of word maybe 10 years back, but now it has become a common word. In fact, a very small kid at the age of 10 towards to the old guy, everybody are talking about AI in some or other sense, right? Including, and that not only that, the government agencies, the school teacher, faculty in the IITs, as well as the common man, everybody are talking or using some of the technology related to the artificial intelligence. So in this, crowded society, which is being crowded by different kind of technology where the intelligence is being pushed through, so the question arises. In fact, many people have already raised the concern, and this is the topic of debate and discussion for our day. And the Brave platform is the right place where we can talk about such kind of cross topic. So meaning to say, at one side there is a technological concept, and other side there is a spiritual concept, right? So where they meet with each other, or whether they are conflicting with each other, right? So, and in this fast-paced society, which is being driven by the technology, are we missing out something in ourselves? So this is the hard questions, and this is the hard-pressing questions that each and everyone, particularly intellectual, definitely the common people also should ask, right? And as a spiritualist, we must not lose our connection or the connectivity with the spiritual. Therefore, the technology must be connected somewhere with the spirituality in order to get the proper perspective of what is intelligence, whether what is artificial and what is real. So now it's like a mixed or a muddy water kind of things, right? And in order to filter out the pure water out of that, so what is the process that we need to have, right? So that is the questions that we wanted to address in today's discussion. So let us go through. So already the great scientists, great people have already raised the questions, right? So this is what is the worry of the modern society. The real worry is not the machines thinking like humans. The real worry is humans are thinking like machine, right? Definitely, this is a genuine problem to worry about. Why? Because at one point of at one side, we are making the machine the smarter. On the other side, we are getting reduced. We are reducing ourselves, right? The human being, as a human being, we're supposed to enhance or supposed to evolve, but we are devolving. So that's the real questions. And this is not that we the Bhaktivedantists are talking about, but some genuine, academians or the professors who are working in institutions, they have raised this question. So we wanted to address this in the light of Bhagavatam. So our main contribution comes from the Bhagavatam. So this is what we wanted to put in a perspective. So now next question arises. How come we have arrived at this place, these situations that, we have to raise this kind of questions whether artificial intelligence is really needed or whether it is good for society, or is there anything like real intelligence? So how does the technology has evolved? So this is what we wanted to. And if you look at carefully, let's go back to 100 years back, what had happened. So we'll do the replay of that, right? So if you do the replay of that, what had happened 100 like kind of prior to 100 years. So this is what has happened. So the technology, earlier people used to live a simple life. That's all of us agrees, right? We used to have a simple life, meaning to say that bare minimum requirement technological support. We have never talked of very, high-end, high-tech kind of, society, but it has got evolved. Whatever may be the reason, for some reason it has evolved. So it has started with the mechanical era. Okay, so the mechanical era, so as a human being, what we are trying to do, right? So that is what we should understand. As a human being, how have we come to this, the situations where we are talking about artificial intelligence? The human being, if you carefully look at, we as a human being, we have some capability, right? We have the hand, we have the legs. Through the hand, we can lift the things. Through the leg, we can walk, right? We can run some fast. So but human being probably might have thought that why shall we limit ourselves, right? Why shall we limit ourselves? Why not? Why should if I am able to walk from this place to that place, it is taking me to 1 day to go. But is it possible for me to go in just in 1 minute? Okay, can I go? So which means that can I enhance my limited capabilities, right? So that is what has the mechanical era has came about. So in the mechanical era, we have enhanced ourselves, right? We have invented motor car, we have invented vehicles, right? Motorized vehicles. We have invented the fuel engine. We have invented the railway, right? So, but what is the philosophical angle of it? Like how to understand it? So the basic understanding is that we wanted to enhance our capabilities. As a human being, we are largely limited. This is what people have thought. Okay, modern people, we are not saying whether that limitation is good for us or it is needed for us or not, but how the thing has evolved. So that is what we have to see. So that's the part of the mechanical era. But we did not stop there. We did not stop there in the mechanical era. Then we wanted to bring in some kind of automation. Okay, we wanted to bring some kind of automations. Earlier, we invented the kind of the steam engine, which used to run in the kind of fuel. We used to get it from the coal or kind of energy, right? Thermal energy. But later on, it has come to the fuel energy. Later on, it has been, after the invention of the electricity, then it has been motorized, right? It has been motorized. So which means that now we have again enhanced little more. So what we have enhanced by invention of the electricity is we have enhanced our limitation to see things. Earlier, I used to see whatever I could see within a room, right? But now I could see what is happening in United States. I could see in the America what is happening in America, right? I could see what is happening in the outer space. So, and what has enabled, so electrical technology has enabled me. I could hear the things from the far distance, the way we are doing right now. I'm sitting here in Tirupati, but you guys are sitting around the world and you are hearing it, right? So, which means that we have enhanced our capability, we have enhanced our limitation. So, this is how human thinking is being evolving along with the technology, right? And not only that, it is not that then again we didn't stop there. Again, we have invented the computers, right? We have invented the computers. And by invention of the computers, we have again enhanced our capability to compute things, right? Earlier, when I used to add two numbers, 1 plus 1, people used to take some time. You used to take a pen and paper. Now I can do it like this, right? In a second, in a fraction of a second. Not only that, I can predict, in fact, tomorrow what is going to happen in the weather, whether it is going to rain or it is going to summer, whether sunny or it is wind. I can able to estimate, I can able to predict that. That happens all those things through the capability of computation. So which means that we are trying to enhance ourselves. And now the thing has come to that extent that human beings have started to think that why to limit ourselves to up to that? Can we make our capability of thinking little more advanced, right? So can we make that? So which means that can we make our kind of decision making capability little efficient? Can we make our to understand the capability to understand little more? Can we make our thinking capability more enhanced? So therefore, the artificial intelligence has come about. Okay, but in that process, are we missing something? That's the question that we should add, and that is what people are raising about. That's what we wanted to make the problem statement, that what is the real world? Okay, and then this worry, can we resolve this worry by the help of Bhagavatam or our Vedantic knowledge? Right? That is the point of to discuss. So therefore, this is what is our going to be the agenda for us. We'll talk about three kind of intelligence. All right. So hopefully you are with me. So we have understood what is the problem, right? So therefore, this whatever the artificial intelligence that we have come about in the path of technological evolution. So how to understand what it is, right? So therefore, at the end of the day, we'll take the perspective of Srimad Bhagavatam and try to understand what are these, what is artificial intelligence and what is real intelligence. And within that real intelligence, we'll try to see there are two kind of intelligence. One, we call it the intelligence that the living entity possesses, that human intelligence, and other kind of intelligence which is being possessed by what we call it is a supreme intelligence, right? And if you look at the nature of this intelligence, the artificial intelligence, the intelligence which human being is trying to embed into the machine. So that is what we call it as artificial intelligence, right? Which means that the human being is trying to make some modification or the changes. So the artificial is the kind of, it's like an antonym or the opposite word of the natural. So whatever the natural leaf, whatever is available, we wanted to make some modification in that. So therefore, it is becoming like a artificial intelligence. So we wanted to put our limited intelligence into the whatever has been given to us. So these three kind of intelligence we'll try to see, and at the end of the day, we should see that there is a real intelligence, right? And we should think about and we should work on that. That's the questions. Now, let me ask you a few questions here, right? We wanted to understand what is artificial intelligence. So before we do that, so if you are seeing or if you are watching in the YouTube, so please try to write your answer in the chat box if you are over in the chat box. So if I ask you what is the first image, what is the first image? So what will be your answer? So probably you would see fruits first, right? And then probably you'll see mango. And then next what your answer will be, it's a ripened mango, not just an ordinary mango, ripened mango. Now, in this process of answering it, right? If I ask you, how did you know it is a mango? How did you know it is a mango? Yes. So which means that in the previously someone might have already either taught you or told you, or you have already some experience, right? As you have said, the past experience or the readily available knowledge. So what you have done here is, if you look at carefully, what you have done here is, whatever the readily available knowledge you have tried to map the whatever you are seeing, and based on that you are taking a decision, or you are taking calling it as a what it is you are identifying. So that's the first image. The next image, what it is, if I ask you next question, right? So the next question, probably you may not be able to immediately say what it is, the fruit. So which means that you might not have, but it is looking like a fruit, right? It is looking like a fruit. You may not be able to exactly name it, probably because you are seeing for the first time, but you have already seen the different kind of other fruits. So now across that other fruits, you are trying to match it.
This looks
Okay.
like something like guava, or
That's
it looks
right.
like lemon also, and also it looks like hartaki.
Correct, correct. Haritaki we call it, right?
Yeah, haritaki.
Yeah. So it is that. So but not everyone will be able to answer these questions. The point I wanted to make is how we are learning, right? We have the past experience for sure of the fruit, but based on that, we wanted to contrast this. So therefore, we could say that it is a fruit. So similarly, for the third image, it may be tough.
Yes, third image. This looks like a flower, but which
Definitely,
flower?
it is a flower.
Which flower? I don't know.
Yeah, but how did you say it is a flower? It looks like a flower that you said, right?
Yeah, because
which
it
means
has
that-
the similar pattern to a flower, but it's a little
That's
more
right.
exaggerated, maybe spread out.
That's right. So these are the things that we should keep track of, that how we, the human being, are learning, and therefore people, the computer scientists or the scientists, have tried to mimic and bring out this nature and put it in the machine. Okay, so this is what we are doing. So this is what we call it as a machine learning. But this is at the very layman's way that how we learn the things. And this is the same thing we wanted to replicate in the machine. So therefore, to replicate it in the machine, it is not very easy process, right? So it has to go through different other stages. So in the first stage is mathematics. So therefore, whatever we have just did, or whatever we have just did, the learning process, how can we do the similar kind of things in mathematics? And once we understood in the mathematics, the next step is how can we make it as a computations, and next step is how can you really put it in a computers. So therefore, if you carefully look at, just look at the slides in the left side of the bottom, where we have said, I have listed down whatever we have just done, right? We have, as the Sudama ji said, that we have the past experience. So which means that inbuilt knowledge or information has already been there, right? And on that, then next what you did, you just saw it, observe the things. And of course, we the human being have started inquiring what it is. Okay, whether the machine can have these capabilities or not, that we'll see later. But what we are doing is it. And then you started learning the things, right? Whether it is a mango or not, it looks like a mango. Shape is little elongated, looks like mango, but may not be mango. I think there is a similar kind of all those calculations you have already done in your mind. And then you said it is. Then you have inferred. Then the next step that you have done, you have inferred. Maybe it is a mango. And then you have finally confirmed it. It is a mango. And then we said it is a mango, right? So we have gone through this many stages. So this is how we are trying to mimic the human nature in machine. Okay, this is how we are trying to mimic the human nature in machine. Now let's look at how does it happen mathematically. So if you look at in the mathematically, what happens is, you look at my left diagram. I don't know. I think if you are not able to understand it, it's okay. Whatever we have just discussed in the previous slides, it is the same things that mathematically we have represented. So whatever was earlier there with me were these dots. Okay, whatever the dots I had. So dot means whatever the previous knowledge I had. And then I wanted to understand when I get the new things, that what are those dots. So therefore I have tried to draw these three different lines. And the line which resembles very closely to this dot, so that is the line I am looking for. And I say it is a mango. hey, it is a mango. It is matching with the previous things. That's what it is a mango, right? And in that process, it goes through different steps. If you look at the right side figure, there are different dots. The step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and whenever it is minimum, so which means that whenever your mistakes are minimum, probably you say it is a mango, right? So this is what generally the mathematically we do the things. But when you put it in a machine, this is how it looks like. Okay, when you put it in a machine, this is, let me take the example. T here stands for tiger. Okay, we are talking about what are our previous knowledge, as the Sudhamaji has said, from the past experience. So we have to give already machine this past experience, right? T for tiger, C for cat, D for dog, E for elephant, L for lion, R for rhino, B for deer. Okay, and now, so these are the whatever existing I have, and now I see tiger. Okay, I see T a tiger. Now across these whatever the different dots I have, I am trying to match it across this different dot. Okay, and after matching, I could come to know that hey, it looks like a cat. Also, it looks like a deer. Also it looks like a lion. Also, it looks like a tiger. Though I am seeing the tiger, but I cannot able to really figure it out immediately, right? So therefore, I am doing it in step by step. And in the second step, I could see maybe it is looking much more similar to like cat and lion. And the third step, we say that it is looking like a tiger and the cat. And in this final stage, we say it is a tiger. So this is how the machine does. And this is what we call it is a neural network. Okay, and this is how the computer science. So whatever we have discussed, so this is how the human intelligence are being incorporated into the machine. Okay, at least this part, at least to identify the object. So this is the crux of the entire machine learning in a layman's term. Okay, hopefully you are following up. And if you look at our brain, how does it looks like? How does the brain do all those things? Whatever we have just done, right? Whatever we have identified the different images. So how our brain does? Okay, if you really open our brain, probably you may Google it sometime. That how does our brain looks like? So we have got different cells. Okay, different cells, and those we call them the neural cells or the neurons. Okay, neurons. And neurons are connected with each other. You can think the brain is in a big societies where different human beings are connected with different relations. So similarly, different neurons are connected with different, we call it dendrite or the axon. Okay, different connections. Okay, actions. So therefore, and they communicate with each other in order to take certain decision, right? So so in this case, decision is to identify whether it is a tiger or it is a man. In the first example, and in the second example, it's a tiger, right? And this is what we have tried to replicate, and that is what it looks like. This is what is the artificial neural network. And this network, which I am showing it in the right side, the bottom corner, is what we write in terms of the program. And this network exactly looks like this, my previous slides, right? So this is how the human being learns. This is how the machine or the computers, learn the things, or this is what we call it as a machine learning. It is a part of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a big subject, but within that, machine learning is a subset of it. This is what we have shown. Okay, input layer, there are middle, we call it as a hidden layer, and then there is a output layer. So this is how the machine works. And what is the capability? By doing this, what is the capability of this? That is something interesting to visualize. And by this, we could able to identify, and people are still using, all of you might be using it, right, these days, everywhere. In the Amazon, when you do the marketing, it is
CAPTCHA.
Yes, exactly. And then in the Google Translator also uses the similar kind of technology, artificial intelligence. When you write something, or when you are speaking, right? When
yeah,
you are
voice.
Speaking, that's right, voice recognition. It can tell you who is speaking. Okay, so which means that it has collected different voices from different sources. It has built its past experience. Whenever he sees the new input, it could able to recognize and say, hey, this is the brain that is speaking about. So it can recognize, it can classify. So when you say the classify, it says that these are shoes, these are shirts, these are dress, these are people, these are tiger, animals, right? This is what we call a class. The animal is a class of different animals. So it can recognize, it can classify. This is one of the capability, okay? Similarly, it can discriminate. So it means that it can distinguish. If you give him the cat and tiger image, it can say tiger is different from the cat. Okay, so this is what is the another capability. Generator means suppose, okay, suppose if you give the half image, okay, suppose you give the half image, so means this, right? Only you give the body of the cat, so it can generate the head of the cat. So this is what we call, it is a generation. So it can, this is one of the capabilities. So this is also, if you give some blueprint, it can recreate the, the same past building. So which means that if you can describe something, like if you describe something, for example, let's take another example. Suppose I am describing the tiger in voice. Tiger looks like this, it has got 2 eyes, it has got 1 nose. So the machine learning computer can actually recreate tiger image from the voice input. This is the example of the same. This is the input image, the blue one, okay, and this input image is the blueprint of the true image, and then this is the predicted image, okay, and you can see that ground truth and the predicted image both looks similar, may not be exactly, but they look similar, right? So this is the capability of machine intelligence. This is what we are talking about, the machine intelligence, right? So therefore, this sort of capability has raises the questions. Are bhai, the machine intelligence is so powerful that it could able to predict, it could able to classify the things, it could able to regenerate, right? And what not? So this is the questions that people have raised, that one day, the whatever we are calling artificial intelligence actually will surpass the human intelligence, and it is actually the artificial intelligence which is superior than the real intelligence. Therefore, it is very much important to understand what exactly the real intelligence is. And our reference is, as I am repeating here, Bhagavatam. So, and here is a recent capabilities and what is the capable of the human, the machine that can do, right? It can defeat. So there is one big company called the IBM. Okay, all of you might be knowing. Which has recently conducted a game. And it's like a Kaun Banega Crorepati game, where in one side is the machine, and another two competitors are the human being. And you can see here the Watson is the name of the computer which is in the middle, the left side at the bottom, which is the middle. It has scored and it has won the highest amount, $21,000. So what does it mean? So at least this says that at least in this game, okay, the computer is much more powerful than human being because it could defeat. Okay, live example is here.
Also, right? There is some chess, and chess also.
Exactly. Chess was its previous. I just wanted to put in the latest one. So in the previous, and there is one example I have also. There is one person from Russia called the Gary Kasparov, or may not be Russia, but he is a Russian, who also has been defeated by computers. Okay. So this is the capability of the machine intelligence or the artificial intelligence. Now you should tell me, what do you think after hearing or after experiencing this, whether the artificial intelligence is much more powerful than your intelligence, whatever the intelligence that you have?
Yeah, this is this is an important question.
This is an important question, but at least it has the capability to raise doubt.
Yeah, I also have done somewhat research, little bit on artificial intelligence. So in the future, it's going to be a huge explosion. Artificial intelligence will actually take up a lot of our jobs, and actually I'm thinking of making a video. For the past 1 year, I'm thinking on this, that on this topic I want to make one video, that artificial intelligence will be more more powerful than human intelligence.
In some sense.
In some sense, of course, not in all sense, but in some areas it will be much more efficient than humans. So if everything will be done by machines, then what is the role of the human being? Ultimately, what are we supposed to do?
Exactly.
So this is a very interesting topic.
So these are, in fact, whatever the questions we have raised, there was one of the big conference of the big guy, okay, big guns of the society, big scientist, big professor, same debate, same questions has been raised. Okay.
This is ultimately this is the question. Machines they can lift much more weight. They can they process information much faster, and they can do everything that we teach them
Correct.
to do. And also there is a fear, which is to some degree it's true, that machines can learn how to create their own, how to expand also.
Correct. Yeah.
For the past 50 years, there's so many scientific sci-fi movies on this topic, which I personally believe it might be true, because the way artificial intelligence is increasing, it's very fast actually.
That's right. So this is a point of discussion, and so let's do it, right? Let's discuss it. What is the then what is the way out? How does the real intelligence looks like? So we have understood the AI, artificial. So this is how, after observing all these things, so this is how people have trying to put, let's say, trying to understand what is the artificial intelligence. As we have seen, we are trying to mimic the human intelligence. We have started from the human intelligence, but it seems like that artificial intelligence is becoming much more powerful than the human intelligence. Though we have started from the human intelligence, and they say that it has a capability to reason it, so which means that it can ask why I am doing all those things. It can discover meaning. This is more profound in fact. These are all hypotheses, of course, but they say that it can discover meaning. It can generalize, okay? It can learn from past experience. So some of the examples we have seen, and these are seen. But however, this one, discover the meaning, is so fundamental. At least those of us who are into the spirituality, or those who are, kind of learning or educating ourselves in the different school of spiritual science, right? So this we definitely have to think whether really machine can have this meaning sort of things or not. All right. So this is how people have tried to define what the human intelligence is. But I raised this kind of question. So this is what is the questions for all of us. Whether the machine intelligence will be equal to human intelligence or the real intelligence. So when I say the machine intelligence, we mean to say artificial intelligence, and when I say the human intelligence, I say it means the real intelligence. Whether it will be equal, or the human intelligence will remain superior, or is it the machine intelligence will surpass the human intelligence. So these three questions we must understand, right? If we wanted to really give a proper perspective to the society, or in fact, wrong understanding of this concept will leads us to wrong, or let's say messy society. This is a real danger. So therefore, we should have the proper perspective, proper understanding of these basic or the fundamental concepts in order to live as a healthy society. So
what I think, in regarding this question, what I think is that artificial intelligence can mimic, or it can just copy the human behaviors. Like we teach it that sometimes, like humans, they like sweets. So artificial intelligence can prefer to choose the sweet if we give it an option. So it is mimicking, it is copying. So that much, I feel that machine learning can be that much only. I mean, it cannot have its own opinion. If it is showing its own opinion also, that is also simply a copy. It is just copying. But in our case, in humans, it's not simply copying. We feel like that, and sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't like it. But the machine can do the same, but it is just showing it. It is not feeling it.
Right.
That's what I feel.
That's right. I think you have put it in a general term, and the people who are working in this area, they call it as a hard problem of consciousness. Yeah. The hard problem of consciousness, as you said, the feelings, right?
Yes.
And the self-reference, the self-realization. So those kind of difficulties are there. There are difficulties. So, but let us go step by step how
Yeah.
far the machine intelligence can go, right? So this is the question. As the Sudhamaji has put forth that the machine intelligence will be limited up to certain extent, and his argument is that it can only mimic,
Yeah.
right? It can only mimic. It cannot have the originality. It cannot have the originality, so it can only mimic. So that's the point to be noted. And therefore, so this is what is the different kind of arguments I'm just trying to put forth from the top peoples who are working in this area. So some says that what will happen once you have animal level AI. So some are in the argument saying that AI will definitely surpass the human intelligence. So we have to recognize, and we have to kind of at least we have in the academic spirit, right? We have to see what kind
I
of
feel, yeah, in the
opinions.
technical field, I think it will definitely surpass human intelligence
Correct.
in
So this is
the
what they
calculative
say.
field.
This is what one of the guy argue say that human intelligence, the machine intelligence, is just a matter of last 50 years, 50 to 100 years, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And within that 50 to 100 years, we have seen very sharp rise of the intelligence, and it has definitely surpassed some say the animal level intelligence, and it is competing with the human level intelligence. And what is the guarantee, what is the argument that it will not surpass in another 100 years the human intelligence? So this is what is the argument. So that's what I say. That is, once we have animal level AI, a few years or decades later, we may have human level AI with truly limitless citizen, unlimited applications, and very busyness will change, and all the civilization will change, and everything will change. So this is what is the argument.
Yeah, everything will change. Actually, it's true. that much is true. Everything will change.
That's what they're saying. While some say this kind of things, although it is a debatable topic, other also says whether it is a fact or it's a hoax. Okay. So and this is not that we are making a very comic statement or the lightweight. It is from the well-known press, Oxford University press. So similarly, what others say, that some says that don't worry, smart machines will take us with them. So is it that the machine at some point of a time will become a leader of the society, or will guide us, and we become the, shall I say, the subservient?
Yeah, I don't think human ego will accept that. They will try to stop it at any cost.
Okay. So these are the different opinions. While there is other who say that everything we love about civilization is a product of intelligence. So amplifying our human intelligence with artificial intelligence has the potential of helping civilization flourishing like never before. So which means that we should collaborate. That is what he's saying. Instead of competing, we should collaborate. So the machine and humans should collaborate and go together hand in hand.
I am against this proposition.
So this may be very, what do you say, very preliminary opinion, right? May not be very argumentally supported, but at least these are the opinions that are coming up. So which means that it's like beginning stage of change of our thinking process.
Yeah, I think
Similar
some people who will benefit from this industry, they might promote it because they are thinking of their short-term benefit, but in the long term, I don't think it's very helpful. It's very destructive, actually.
There are always a section of people who try to extract or who try to take what do you say, wrong advantage, okay, from the half understood concept. So these are now, it's like a prematurely understand. We don't understand correctly, right? At least in scientific community don't understand correctly. Maybe the spiritualists understand it correctly. Okay, so that's what it is. Always, as a solution, this two things should have that we want. So these are the different opinions as we have seen, right? Artificial intelligence advances, human behaving like machines will be bigger problem. But the real problem that we wanted to see is this one: human behaving like machines. Then the machine behaving like human. If the machine is becoming smarter, that may be okay. But human being is becoming like a dumb, that is not okay. Human being becoming like a dumb machine, that is not okay.
Yes.
And that should be investigated deeply. So that is what this is what is the beginning statement when we started the presentation. We said this, and so this is what we are the origins and the future of the human. So we have presented the different opinions of the people, right? The thinkers. AI should augment, and this is what is the statement of the Gary Kasparov, who has been defeated by the one of the chess game that you mentioned. So he says that artificial intelligence should augment human intelligence and not replace it, right? So we wanted to take it forward, the same argument. We wanted to take it for the same argument, and we wanted to put perspective from our ancient scripture that we have in our tradition.
Yeah.
So therefore, what we can infer is that there is human intelligence and which is different from artificial intelligence. Now, when we say it is different from artificial intelligence, whether it is less or more, that we have to quantify later, right? So therefore, how do we understand this, that human intelligence is different from artificial intelligence? So therefore, we need to take help from our ancient scriptures. That is what we want to do. And coming to our ancient scripture, though I have not referred the exact scripture here, but it is also there in the Katha Upanishad and in the Bhagavad Gita. So according to our Vedanta or the Bhagavatam, or let's say Vedic scriptures, set of Vedic scriptures. So the first point it makes is that there is the real intelligence is different from the artificial intelligence. Or put it in another way, the physical world is different from the spiritual world. Okay, so which means that there is a physical realm and then there is a spiritual realm, right? So this is the first distinction that we have to make. Now, how do we argue to support it? That we have to see later on. So therefore, if we may carefully understand it, okay, and so therefore, whatever the entire world that we see has been represented in terms of this working chariot. Okay, this is a working chariot or the moving chariot. It is not a static chariot, it is a moving chariot. And in this chariot, there are 5 different components. Okay, in this chariot, this is a 5 different components. And it is a very, if you carefully look at it, it is a very appropriate model in order to understand the relationship between the different elements that we have in this physical that we are having. Okay, the first one is the chariot itself, chariot as a whole. Another is the passenger which sitting. The number 2. Number 3 is the driver, and this is what we are talking about, the intelligence. But this intelligence, whatever we see here, will not be able to see it is a real intelligence. So the manas or the mind, okay, which is in terms of the brake, okay, braking system. You can call it the braking system through which you can control the movement of the chariot, right? Right? You can control the movement of the chariot, but they are very tightly coupled. They are tightly coupled with intelligence. It is tightly coupled with intelligence. If you are from computer science background, probably you will be able to appreciate this model. But even if you are not, even if you are from other engineering, even if you are layman, in fact, this is the Bhagavad Gita. The beauty of the Bhagavad Gita is this, that it is meant for everyone. It is meant for everyone. Computer science may be meant for computer science people, Yeah. Physics may be meant for the physics people. But Bhagavad Gita is meant for everyone. So which means that it has been generalized to that level without losing the concept. So without losing the concept, if you can generalize the things which everyone can understand. So this is the beauty, and that's why everyone should appreciate the concept that has been spoken here. And then we have the horses, right? And the point we wanted to make is this, and how it is related to the artificial neural network or the machine learning, according to our understanding, is this. So far, what we understand. So at the spiritual realm, okay, there is something called the chitta. and this is what we call it is a intelligence, the real intelligence. Okay, and that reflection of it is somewhere we call it is a buddhi, or whatever is there in the driver in the chariot model, right? And another reflection of it is somewhere in the manas, and that manifests. Okay, that manifests in the physical world in terms of the neural network that we have shown in the previous slides, in the brain, right? And that brain, we the computer science people are trying to mimic it in terms of the artificial neural network. So this is what is our understanding so far. So therefore, if you look at, there are different realms are there according to the Bhagavatam understanding. There is a spiritual realm, that's the one, the layer. Then there is an intellectual realm, and then there is a psychological realm, then there is a physical realm, and then there is a computational realm where we do the computer science. Okay, so this is what is the understanding. So from this argument, okay, from this understanding, it is, so now you say, now if you say that this, is it possible for this artificial intelligence, artificial neural network to surpass this neural network? So first it has to surpass the neural network, right? In order to reach to this real intelligence, it has to surpass this human brain, it has to surpass this chip. And if you ask the human intelligence, which means that you are talking about something beyond chip, which means that it can go beyond this chip, so which is not, at least, you know, according to the Bhagavatam, it is not support. So this is what is our position.
Yeah.
So this is the first argument we wanted to present. All right. The second argument is this. If you look at little more detail, okay, the Vedantic understanding. If you look at a little more detail, the Vedantic understanding. So we have three different kind of, you know, the entity where the exchange of intelligence takes place. One is the external world. If you go back to our initial example, when you see the mango, so mango is there in the external world. And that, the person who has seen or the seen, the what we call it is a living entity or the soul. Okay, this is, we are talking about the knowledge system that has been given to us in the Vedanta. Okay, this is not from the science. Science has so far only up to the limited, up to the external world, not up to this other two world. And when the soul or the seeker seeks for that what is, what it is not, the knowledge actually comes from this supreme intelligence. So this is what is the Bhagavatam states. And if you carefully look at this, whatever the external world we see, it is physical in nature. Okay, and whatever the seeker that we see, it is animated in nature. So it means that it is mix of both. It is physical and spiritual. And whatever we see, the spiritual, which is the pure spiritual, and that is the position of the supreme intelligence. And our argument is that, our hypothesis or the argument is that computer science limits itself to the physical world. It even will not be, it will not be able to go even to the animated world. So therefore, it will not be able to even mimic many of the aspects of the animated and the spiritual world. So this is what the, and there are good number of, you know, argument from the computer science realm which suggest or which substantiate our argument. And one of the argument, what we call it is a Gödel's incompleteness theorem, or in the computer science term we call it as a halting problem. And if I may system here, and you have
can you please repeat that? My internet is slow.
So there are two arguments.
Yeah, in the computer world, what do you call it?
Yes.
In the computer terms, what do you call that? Incompleteness.
We call it as a halting problem.
Halting problem. Okay.
Yes, halting problem. So in computer science, that everything that you do, at the end of the day, the computer should stop and say, hey, this is this. but there are certain problems for which computer will never be able to stop.
To find the solution, to find the actual answer.
In order to find the solution, it will never be able to stop. Which means that
it won't be able to decide.
Yes, it will not be able to take a decision.
Okay.
Not able to decide. There are such, so which means that there are limitations to the computer science. So that is what is our problem here. There are recent papers which is, I have not included here, but sometime maybe in the second presentation we can discuss that in detail.
Does this include quantum computers also?
It does not. It includes the quantum computer, yes.
Because I heard that they are much faster, quantum.
Yes. So it includes the quantum computer also.
Okay.
So quantum computer is such is a technology, but the technology works on certain concept. So the argument is on the concept itself.
Yeah.
So which means that it is applicable to the quantum computer and the classical traditional computer as well. So this is what is. These are the some of the arguments that we have. Okay. So right. So let me break here and summarize it. As you have said in the beginning, that it can only mimic. Okay. But today we are not giving the argument for that, for whatever statement. But it is true that it can only mimic. And the second thing that we have said is that it cannot have the feelings or the self feelings, right?
Yeah.
Self feelings.
Maybe we can call it awareness.
Self-awareness. We call it as self-awareness. So that comes under the argument called the hard problem of consciousness. And the third argument that we are saying here is this halting problem of computer science. Okay. So with this argument, we substantiate that machine intelligence may be in some of the area or some of the aspect may be very superior. Okay, at least in computation, right?
Yeah.
Human being may not be able to compute the numbers faster, but machine can.
Yeah.
But there are other problems where it will fail. Okay, as you have said, the decision making, cannot make the decision, like it cannot make the decision.
It will mimic, but it will not choose it for itself. It will just copy or randomly produce something.
Yes. It can have a mimicking capability that may be possible. Okay. So these are some of the argument, and with this argument we say that the machine intelligence is limited somehow. Okay.
Just like we in our spirituality we say thinking, feeling, and willing. So maybe till the thinking, it can compute till the thinking, but I doubt whether feeling. Can it feel it? It can think, it can compute, but can it feel? And then the free will, that is the difference between the living and the dead. So it has this free will. So that is also doubtful. Where with this artificial intelligence, it can compute, but can it feel that emotions or feel that? Or although they are saying that they want to mimic that also, they want to mimic the emotions also, and so that's where it becomes destructive. That's right. Yeah, that's in the 16th chapter, Krishna is saying that the demons, they create something which is kshayaya jagata ahita, that is destructive for this world. So if it goes out of control, then it will not listen to our reason, logic, or it will not feel. It will. It's a machine.
That's right. That's
destructive.
That you have put. Yeah, these are all the arguments that whatever you have said are very true. Only that we have to substantiate with some of the statements and some of the arguments made from the scientific evidence.
It has to be
the way we do
thoroughly proved. Correct. With experiments, observations, and all that.
Yes. So and to substantiate further that what the real intelligence means, as I have shown you from the previous scriptures, that what we really mean. And here is a statement from one of the millennium's greatest spiritualist, the Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So Prabhupada Maharaj says that, take for example Buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence, and what is that intelligence? It is the real intelligence. Real intelligence is to know, to understand that Krishna is the supreme and I am part and parcel. But this statement may looks like a very, this kind of lightweight spiritualist statement, but it is very profound. The subject matter that which we wanted to learn is the supreme intelligence itself. Okay, and we are somehow connected.
The
So
source
the
of
relationship there
intelligence.
is correct.
We have intelligence, but where's the source?
Exactly. So it is here that intelligence means sukhartha vivechana samatya. Suppose one is very intelligent striker, that is, so the real intelligence is sukhartha. Prabhupada Maharaj again
Yeah.
makes it, it is a finer activities. It is a finer activity. It is a subtle, right? It is a subtle, that is what we call it is a buddhi. So this is what we mean to say is the real intelligence, to see the finer and the finer, and the finer among the finest is the supreme intelligence. Okay, so if you are able to see that intelligence, so that is what is the finest definition, the final definition of the intelligence, right? So this is what is our position, and I am almost going towards the end, but I'll summarize in a beautiful way, which probably will be able to appreciate. So here is how the nature of the real intelligence and the artificial intelligence may goes. So the artificial intelligence right now, what we are seeing is this part of the curve. It looks like that artificial intelligence is surpassing the human intelligence. But eventually, when we go in the timeline, but these are all hypotheses, right? We have not yet substantiated. Yeah, these are all hypothetical understanding that we are presenting on the strength of our limited understanding of the scripture. Okay, the human, the AI or the machine intelligence will actually saturate what we call it is it will converge. It will be having convergence point. Whereas the human intelligence, it will evolve. It will evolve for infinite time. That is what is the understanding. So that is where they differ, right? Now, how to prove it? That is what we challenge in front of us as a scientist or as a spiritualist as well. So whatever the tools and techniques that we have, maybe we have to apply. Spiritualist has got their own tools and technique. We the scientists have got our own tools and technique. But to prove and to establish, therefore, by proving it, we will bring forth to the society a perspective, right? That is what is our we wanted to make the point. And finally, I wanted to conclude here by distinguishing and differentiating the artificial intelligence with the real intelligence. Some of the points definitely we have not discussed in today's discussion, but we'll talk sometime in other presentations. For example, artificial intelligence, or it is in computer science, so therefore it is algorithmic in nature. Okay, it goes step by steps. However, the real intelligence, the real power of the real intelligence comes from the intuitiveness. It is non-algorithmic in nature. So they differ there.
There are some very good examples of this. Many scientists, they get some inspiration, or they get some hints within them.
Yes,
and
yes.
They soon find out the proper solution by those hints.
Exactly.
So intuition.
And there are, a good example is one of our greatest mathematicians of India, Srinivas Raman.
Yes, he's I mean, it's out of the world. Even till date, they cannot prove those his theorems.
Exactly.
He
so
received in dreams.
We have to look into those aspects also. And then artificial intelligence is deductive in nature. So it means that given something, you deduce from it.
Break it down and
yes
to the basic.
But have a real intelligence is creative. Real intelligence is creative in nature. Okay. Again, the artificial intelligence is limited, as you have seen in the previous graph. Real intelligence is actually unlimited. And then, as you have said, artificial intelligence is syntactic. Syntactic means you can arrange the things syntactically, but the meaning, associating meaning to it is not possible in the artificial intelligence. That is what, though some of the scientists, the computer scientists are saying that it will be able to find out the meaning. However, I doubt. As you have said, that the feeling, right? Feeling, or the free will, that brings in meaning actually into it.
Yes.
Meaning and purpose of the life, meaning of something. So that real intelligence has got the semantic nature. And of course, it is gross in nature, which means that you can touch the computers and see the things you can program it, but the real intelligence is the finer, as Prabhupada Maharaj is also saying. And by nature, it is physical, as we have seen, and real intelligence are spiritual in nature. So this much, at least for today's presentation, I would like to convey. Hopefully, you have got some idea of what is artificial intelligence, whether how far it can go in order to compete or compare with the real intelligence, right? If you have questions, so probably you can always be in touch with our brave, Value Education Institute, and already Sudama ji is there. So I'll stop here. And if you have any agenda further, so over to Sudamaji.
Thank you so much. Do we have some more time, or 45 minutes is over?
Yes, I think I am available.
Okay, I mean this Zoom will not stop, right? It will continue.
It will continue. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So right now we have only Jitendra Lakshman Gowda with us. So would you like to ask any questions, Jitendra ji? On the channel
No,
also,
sir.
those who are live, if you want to ask anything, you can ask in the chat box comments. Yes, Jitendra ji. I think he said no, sir, right?
No, sir. No,
Okay.
no question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, today was the introductory session to this topic, and I'll try to arrange another session where we can take maybe a little more specific. This was more general, covering the whole spectrum. Maybe we can take a little more specific and go a little more in detail, and we'll discuss more about that.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
And yeah, artificial intelligence is very actually it's a very rapidly growing field right now, and they are saying that it's the future. The jobs, I mean, if students study artificial intelligence today, then definitely
Yes.
they'll have a job in the future, because it is such a huge industry.
Yes.
And but yeah, also it has lot of implications, because already with the growing population and joblessness that we are seeing,
Yes.
it's going to be a very big chaos in the future.
Yes.
Already we are facing this, that
Yes.
computers are able to do 100
Yes.
people work or
I
1,000
think-
people work.
Yeah, I'll suggest that we'll take topic by topic. For example, the game, right?
Yes.
The computer game. It has, hugely negative impact on the youth.
Yeah.
It has hugely. I think you might be already, knowing all those things. You are interacting with the youth. So maybe
I
you
saw
can
many news, like people watching PUBG, they commit suicide, or they
That's
become
right,
violent.
that's-
They start,
That's right.
becoming violent to others. If they
Yes.
lose their internet or phone, then they cannot. They are hooked up. They are addicted to it.
Yes.
Some people also suffer physical, like eye damage and all these things.
Yes. So those kind of topics definitely we can resolve.
Yeah, I think this is a huge field to artificial intelligence. Is so many different things connected to it, and
Yes, yes.
definitely it is the future. Artificial
Yes,
intelligence
yes.
is, and also SpaceX, Elon Musk, he is one of the leading
Correct.
voices on this artificial intelligence. So he has a apprehensive tone. He's always afraid. He's always warning the world that don't allow artificial intelligence to grow too much. Recently also I heard, maybe 2 years ago, Facebook had to forcefully shut down its artificial intelligence program, because it was
Right.
doing things which was not programmed. It was doing new things. So yeah, it already, I mean, 2020, 2022, we are
Yeah.
at such a high. And also there are so many other, there's NVIDIA, which is a graphic company.
Yes.
They have built few artificial intelligence photo generators, where you can
Correct,
give it an
correct.
idea and it will make a ultra realistic photo.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's called GPT, and then there is higher levels of it.
Right. Yeah.
So actually it's very fast. It's
Yes.
advancing like anything,
That's right.
and it
That is
can be very helpful. I mean, we are thinking that it will be very helpful, but ultimately it will be destructive. That is for sure. That is my conviction. It is.
Yeah. That is what I think. That point we should make. That we should emphatically make it that it should not, shadow the real intelligence.
Yeah, it will just like a few hundred years ago, we were living our life, everything was okay,
That's right.
and
That
now
is
we
right.
are so much dependent on machines. We think that it is advancement, but at the
Yes,
end of the day, we
yes.
have to ask, what is advancement? Are we happier?
Exactly.
We are more efficient, but are we happy? Are we
Yes.
satisfied?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
yes.
we have to see what is our priority. If it is just competitive to be more efficient, then definitely machines will be much more efficient than humans.
Yes.
Then humans will face a existential crisis. They'll face a, what do you call it, inferiority complex, because machines will be much better. That is, I understand it will be. Machines will be better than humans in many
Yes, 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 yes.
So my question, or my topic of interest is what is the human's worth, or what is the thing that the humans are supposed to do? If the machine can
Correct.
make decisions better than you, if the machines can lift heavier than you, if the machines can work better than you, and if they can, nowadays I see that they can do creative things also. You give it an idea and it will create
Right.
a wonderful picture which even you cannot do. And that
Right.
also in few seconds. So
Yeah.
if machines will do all these things, then what is the functionality, or what is the value of a human? Which
That's right.
I know the answer, and I want to bring that out, that we are not meant to do all these things. As a human being, we are meant to realize our actual identity as the soul, and what is our connection with God. That a machine cannot do. It will never do.
Yes.
But the humans can do. So this is the special function which already in our scriptures it is given, that this human form of life, the only function, the only the what do you say? The only reason, or the only goal of life
Right,
is to
right, right.
is to realize this, that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, and I am spiritual in nature, and I should go back to my original home.
Correct, correct.
So at the end of the day, once the machines are, artificial intelligence is there, the machines are evolved and everything, then I feel that the human has no other function than to recognize his spiritual nature and try to attain that. That
Correct,
is
correct.
the future that I see and understand.
Right, right. So
That's
that in that sense, it is okay or advantageous, right? If the human beings are utilizing themselves properly,
mm.
that is okay. If the humans are, you know, engaging.
I feel that the humans will have no other function, because the machines will outsmart us in everything. Composing music, machines will do it better, or whatever creative things also machines will do it better. So but so let them do all the work, but what is our function, what is our purpose then?
Correct.
If we can come to this level, that my purpose is to realize my spiritual identity, let the machines work for me and let me realize my spiritual identity, then it's a helpful, if it is controlled, of course. If the machines are controlled, which is doubtful, because they can also go out of control.
That's right. That's right.
So-
Yeah.
So through this discussion, or through this, what I want to put out is that this is our real, to self-realization. That is our only purpose, or that's our only
Correct.
function
correct.
as a human
Correct.
being.
Yes,
Because
yes.
all the other things can be mimicked, or they can be done better than what we are capable of.
Yes.
But this is the function which nobody else can do. Neither the animals can do it, and neither machines can do it. So we have been given that intelligence, that developed intelligence. So if we can come to that level, then that can be called the perfection of human life. That we have achieved the target, or we have achieved what we have come to do. We have done that. So yeah, artificial intelligence, I think will definitely, it's already on the rise. It will much more. It will continue to grow, and humans will have to find solutions to problems of life. I mean, if machines take over everything, then who will give you job? What will we do? And so many things.
That's-
Maybe
that's right.
so many things about ethics also, moral business, moral ethics, because
Yeah.
there's a saying, with power comes responsibility. So
Correct,
we
correct.
are definitely increasing our power, our intelligence, everything is increasing. So we have to become much more responsible also. And that's where values plays a huge role. If we are just, competitive, or if we are just cutthroat competition, then yeah, there's no place. Like, the materialism is based on this survival of the fittest. That is Darwin's evolution, survival of the fittest.
Correct.
There is no place of values. It's just, black and white. If you're fit, you survive. You're not fit, get lost.
Yes,
But
yes.
that is, if humans do that, then that's the problem that you put up. That the problem is, if humans start to behave like machines, that means if they lose their human touch, if they lose their values. What makes us human is our values. It's our, what do you say? It's our values, our morals, our
That is right.
priorities.
Yeah. Correct, yes.
So I think it's value education is becoming more important day by day as we are progressing, or we can say we are demoting ourselves to the level of machine. So we have to teach that we're not only
Yes.
machines, we have values also. We are spiritual beings, and real happiness will come from this relationships with each other, not just showing off. Like, these days social media is there so much. It's simply a show off. I may be miserable like anything, I may be so lonely, but every day I'll take a selfie and I'll show that I'm happy, I'm enjoying, just to make
Correct.
other people feel jealous, or to
That's
make
it.
them feel that I am so successful. But at the end of the day, I'm sad, I'm not happy. So it's just a
Correct.
show business. It's just, so someday down the line we have to become down to earth, that ultimately I'm a human, and
Yes.
yeah,
So that is very important, the not losing values, or not losing our real identity, not losing our real intelligence. That is what our and we should be focusing on.
yeah,
If the
and
society misses out those things, it will be certainly very disastrous sort of things.
and spirituality is which is naturally inculcating those things in us.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if we follow modern science, or you can say Darwinism, or materialistic, mechanistic approach of evolution, then there is no place for values. There's no place for
Yes, there is no
emotions.
place for values. Yes.
It is just like a machine. It's just a mechanical system which will
Yes,
eliminate things out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yes. So therefore, making a society on the basis of material principle is disaster.
Yeah, it is
Yes.
inhuman. It is.
Yes,
It
yes.
is.
Inhuman actually. So therefore, this AI thing AI thing must be in collaboration, or let's say, real intelligence must be, there must be a place for the real intelligence.
Yeah. So this is the challenge. This is
Yes,
a
this is a
challenge
challenge.
which
This is a
science is
challenge.
facing. We have created a monster which is more powerful than us. So now we have to control that. Although, science fiction, 50 years ago they already had, seen this kind of a future. They had already imagined of it, and today we are seeing the graph is going straight there. It's going there. What was
Yes.
imagined, it's becoming a
Yeah.
reality now.
Correct.
So thank you so much, and thank you all the viewers who joined us today. And every Saturday we'll try to arrange more scientific sessions where we can discuss science and spirituality, and we'll also invite different speakers, various speakers. Of course, we'll have Jaynarayan Prabhu with us again in the future. We had a very nice and very thought-provoking session today. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
So thank you very much, the brave and the team and yourself. Alois, you have been inspiring, guiding the students, and leading teaching them the way of basically the youth. We are highly concerned. Everyone is concerned
Yes.
because these days the society has changed. Their parents are going to office. Nobody is there to teach them the morals. The family system has become a nuclear family system. So they don't learn from their grandparents. So they don't learn from their the parents, and the school education system does not have this in their curriculum. So who is there to teach them the most essential part of their life? So therefore, I see the value education institute like Dept has a greater role to play.
Yes,
You know?
thank you so much. With your inspiration, we will continue.
Now,
Of
because we
course.
see we are in academic, right? We are in the
Yeah,
college.
education.
The curriculum, we teach the student, but whatever we teach does not have any iota of values in it. Value in the sense
Let's
of
hope for a future which is more connected to our roots,
Correct.
spirituality.
yes,
And basically that will come from the masses. If majority of population they feel the need of this kind of education, then it can be gradually introduced. And
correct, yes.
and also, yeah, I would like to say that you gave us the credit, but I would like to pass on the credit to Srila Prabhupada, who did all of this, who spread the awareness. Without his efforts and without his hardships, none of us would have come to spirituality. So definitely all the credit goes to Srila Prabhupada and all the spiritual masters who are tirelessly working hard even in their old age. So this is the values, or this is the love they have towards humanity, that they are dedicating their whole life to educate and to spread this knowledge of life. What is life, right? Science doesn't have an answer yet. What is life? But spirituality
Yes.
is giving us this most important, because we are living
Yes.
beings. So what is the meaning of life, and what is life, and how can we find happiness? Ultimately, that's all a human being wants to know, is how can I be happy? He may express it in various ways, but ultimately this is his only question, or this is his only quest. How can I be happy? And that I found that you can only be happy by understanding your nature, your spiritual nature, and connecting with spirituality. Otherwise it is, you're trying but you're not getting that happiness. So yeah, we thank Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas who have given us this knowledge. So thank you so much, Jaynarayan Prabhu. We had a very enlivening session today.
Thank you very much.
Hope to meet you soon.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.